Hello everyone and welcome to part 10 of the Basic Training Booster Pass edition. Today we're going to cover everything you need to know to play Mario Circuit 3 on 150cc. Definitely a massive step up in the fun factor in comparison to New York Minute, so let's dive on into the guide. Unsurprisingly, we're going to be going with our tried and true try-hard build of Waluigi, Bitty Buggy, Azure Rollers, and Paper Glider for this track. When the run begins, we're going to make our way to the right-hand side of the track, start a right drift, and immediately go wide to grab the 2 coins. After you build up a super mini turbo, drive straight for just a bit and then start a wide left drift while grabbing the next 2 coins. After that, we're going to hang a super tight right around this next turn, making sure to spend as much time on the red and white track barrier as possible, and then we're going to build up 2 super mini turbos before the straightaway. You can build up a single ultra mini turbo if that's easier for you, but it is going to be just a bit slower. Do a left hop to release, and then once you get to the straightaway, grab the rightmost coin from the first line, and then start a wide left drift before grabbing the middle coin in the second line. This will allow you to grab the rightmost coin from the third line while giving you just enough time to build up a super mini turbo when going over the shortcut. That way you can take the cut without mushrooms. I should point out that you probably won't build up the super mini turbo until after you get into the off-road, but the red and white track barrier acts like a little ramp and it will give you a tiny bit of air so that you have just enough time to get the SMT before hitting the off-road and losing your drift. The last tricky strategy we're going to have to learn is the mushroom cut. Again, we're going to go off the red and white track barrier, which will buy us some time to cut just a bit of the off-road, and then we're going to use our mushroom. Now there are 2 ways to take this cut. The riskier way, which is what I go for, is to use the mushroom and then hang kind of a hard right, almost clipping the green part of the wall here. If you soft drift around this turn, then you can cut out a little bit more of the off-road, and once you pass the wall, you can widen your drift a bit so that you can get back to the track before your mushroom runs out. It's risky because of the fact that you use your mushroom to cut more of the off-road, which conversely means that the timing is going to be much tighter between when your mushroom runs out and when you get out of the off-road. A less risky way to take the cut is to basically do a wide left drift the entire time. You're not nearly as likely to mess up the timing on this, but it's about 0.7 seconds slower, so just be aware of that. After that comes a wide left drift to grab coins 8 and 9, and a right drift around the last turn of the lap. There's this cute little strategy that you can do at the end where you do a wide left drift off the orange boost pad, and then when that boost runs out, chain it into a mini turbo. It's kind of obnoxious, and I'm not even really sure that I'm doing it in a way that saves time here, but the Shroomless world record does it, which is why I do it. They also do this strategy where they do 2 left hops into a right drift to build up an ultra mini turbo around the first turn of the lap, but again, old hands and whatnot, so I basically just do exactly what we did on lap 1 and build up a super mini turbo around that first turn instead. One thing to note though is that for the second super mini turbo on this lap, you want to start that drift right away instead of driving straight like we did on lap 1, since we don't need to grab coins anymore. The only other difference between laps 2 and 3 and lap 1 is that when you come up on the mushroom cut, you want to start the left drift from the right hand side of the track, which will give you a wide enough line to build up a super mini turbo and also allows you to take that shortcut super tight. That's it for my PB strats. Let's talk about the world record a bit. There's not really a lot we specifically need to point out other than the fact that they use Baby Peach to build up more mini turbos and higher levels of mini turbo, but there are a couple differences in strategy that we need to go over. The first is that around the turn before the mushroom cut, they build up an ultra mini turbo into a super mini turbo instead of 2 super mini turbos like we did. This forces them to take wider lines, so they grab the leftmost coin from the first line instead of the rightmost one like we did. They also build up an extra mini turbo when coming out of the cut, which is possible with the Waluigi build, but, and I can't believe I'm saying this for the 3rd time in 3 minutes, my aching hands, they literally would not allow this. The last difference in strategy is that they click the like button so that this video can get spread to more people and help out my channel. Oh wait, no, that's what you need to be doing. Thanks for that, by the way, you're awesome. What the world record actually does is that they take the mushroom cut even tighter than I do, which means that they have to actually jump before getting back onto the track to make sure they don't hit the off-road at all. And that's it for the strats. Let's check out my current personal best while I talk a bit more about the track. Mario Circuit 3 is my 2nd favorite course that we've gotten in the DLC so far, and I've got kind of a mouthful as to why. The main reason is that this is a track that really rewards good fundamentals, and if you're experienced with the game, you can pretty quickly get a decent time without needing to learn how to do any crazy ass shortcuts or complicated drift tech. It's kind of like Electrodrome in that sense, except that unlike Electrodrome, this course constantly keeps your hands busy. I've alluded to this multiple times in the video so far, but like Sherbet Land and Yoshi Circuit, this is another course where grinding it out too much made my hands want to fall off, and I had one run where my hand literally refused to keep working, and I dropped the controller out of sheer muscle fatigue. That's actually the reason why I stopped trying to do the double ultra mini turbo strat at the beginning of the run in the first place, since executing that properly required me to hold my controller in kind of a death grip just to make sure I could get the proper drift angles. Anyway, look, I know I'm making it sound bad, but I don't spend this much time and I don't literally put myself in physical pain trying to learn a track unless I really do enjoy playing it. The other reason why I like this track so much is for something I haven't really touched on in much of these videos yet, which is that it's also really fun to play online. It's got a metric ton of shortcuts, but with the exception of the cut that I do in this video, none of them by themselves are really that impactful. However, if you hit all of them in a single lap, it can really help you come back from a tough spot, which makes this one of the only courses in the game where being in spots that almost exclusively give you mushrooms isn't the worst thing in the world. So yeah, it's fun to time trial, and it's fun to play online. A truly rare breed of track, in my opinion. And that's everything you need to know to play Mario Circuit 3 on 150cc. I had an absolute blast putting this video together, and I hope that you all enjoy playing it as much as I did. Speaking of enjoying things, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget about all the algorithm bait. Liking and commenting really does help out the channel, so it would be awesome if you could do that for me. Thank you all very much for taking the time out of your day to do some basic training, and as always, I will see you in the next video.